Hey guys, welcome back with another episode on the REI Network podcast. I have, guess what, another guest, a very good friend of mine. We're actually partnering on a few things as well, so I'm excited to bring him over. And just before I do though, let me give you a quick giveaway. If you've not already, make sure you go to reinetwork.com/lead sheet. Okay, this is really good. You can print 10, 20 copies. This is good for talking to sellers and taking notes. And remember, taking a picture, giving it to your VA and let them update the CRM. We've got to keep you out of the CRM, okay, so you can focus on making money. But we've got something better that I'm going to bring to you today on the ways that we can help you. So this episode is all about helping you if you want to partner with us. So we're going to dive straight in. So I am going to bring him over, a good friend of mine, Dustin Kircher. How are you, bud?
Hey, what's going on, Gavin? I'm doing good.
Awesome. I appreciate you jumping on. We've been working on a few things in the background, okay? Which is, if you guys want to have a little sneaky peek, go to reidealclosers.com, reidealclosers.com. We've been working on something now for 6-7 weeks. I'm pretty excited to share, and we're going to jump into that into this episode. But before we do, we want to find out a little bit more about Dustin. A lot of you know my story, my background, but I want to find out, or I want you guys listening to find out a little bit more about Dustin. He's a powerhouse in the real estate space. He's very humble, super nice guy. So I'm going to probably put him on a pedestal here that he's not. I would say he's not used to, but he's not. It's not in his comfort zone. Okay, but he has done a lot of deals. Well over 1,000 deals in multiple states. Super impressive. So we're going to learn a lot. So Dustin, tell us a little bit kind of your backstory, like why real estate? How did you get in and how are we here today?
Yeah, I mean, real estate's been pretty much my whole life. In high school, was given the book that everybody knows about, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Sparked my
Yeah.
interest. Then I was up late one night and saw Carlton Sheets program, and I bought
Yeah.
it. And my parents actually put up the money, bought the course back then. I still have it. It's pretty funny. I won't ever
Yeah.
sell that thing.
Right.
And I used to tell my friends in high school, I'm going to be a real estate investor, and that's what I wanted to do. Is either that or I'm a car mechanic. I gave the car mechanic thing a shot because I love old cars. And
Yeah.
after a year working in a shop, I was like, oh man, this is a killer. Like I smelled like transmission oil every day I went home. I was 18 at the time, and it'd take me 2 hours to rinse it all off and try and go out with friends at that point. So
Yeah.
I went back to the real estate and studying that. I went off to college and um, started studying real estate in college and business marketing. And I fell back into the real estate side again. My grandma used to own an escrow company, and so she always talked real estate. And then when she found out I got back into it, she thought I was doing on the sales side, but I really went into for the investment, the development. And she's like, you can't be a real estate agent. And I'm like, I'm not. I mean, people know me. I'm kind of shy. Unless I get to know you well, then I'll, talk
Yeah.
out. But I'm kind of held back in big groups, especially. So that
Yeah.
wasn't my thing. But I loved numbers and I loved figuring out how to make deals work. And so
Hmm.
I did that back. I was 21, so it's now almost 17 years right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've been in the business. I interned with one of the top agents and investors out in Chico, and learned what they were doing. And then I decided to get my real estate license to help kind of just sell deals. I started working with student parent investors where I would go on the campus, and at that time I already knew how to analyze numbers, right? So I would say, hey, buy a house instead of having them live in the dorms. You have your kid live in one and then rent out the other 2 or 3 rooms, and now you're there for free or making money while your kid is in school. And once they're done with their term, then sell the house to somebody else. And so
That's great.
I quickly became the top producer rookie by selling that, going that route and selling properties that way. So learn that side, learn more on the investment, and then I partnered up with people that started rehabbing houses,
Yeah. Well,
And then
we're going to come on to that. I just want to jump back. So any of you
okay.
guys that have got kids going to college, did you just pick up on that, right? Go and buy the house, rent all the rooms. You're going to cash flow. It's like a mini Airbnb, but probably cash flow is even better, right? Because you're renting by the room, especially depending on where they're going to college. And then build all that money up. And then when they're done with college, sell it. So I guess the parent who owns that, Dustin, is probably living there for free while making money, right? So that their kids living there free and they're cash flowing every month, right?
Yep, exactly. And then, I just became friends with, whoever the student was going to be. I mean, I was young at that time too, right? I was still in college selling real estate. So I hadn't finished college. I was still selling real estate. So I would make friends with them, and so when they were leaving, I collect that. I would also get the listing on that side, or so I just pitch any of my buddies, anybody that was out there, and so it worked well for me. Yeah, and I would door knock. I would also door knock um, student housing, other houses I knew that their parents would had bought for them, and I would door knock and I say, hey, when are you guys graduating? Blah blah blah. I specialize in this kind of in these sales, and that's how I started doing a bunch of deals that way. And then and then from there, I always had the interest, like I said, development and rehabbing. So I started learning about that. I worked for a gentleman, and I was kind of like their bird dog, right? I found properties, analyzed them, sent them to them. I got paid for it, and then I did my first deal when I was 24, my own flip by myself, and it was out of state. It was in Atlanta, Georgia. It was my first deal as a flip, and I was super scared. I had a buddy that moved out there that was a contractor, and so he's like, hey, I could do the work for you, blah blah blah. So and beyond just my first deal, it was the first time I was ever introduced to trustee sales. So we bought it at a trustee sale, and we got it. We call it a penny over, right? And I was like, why did nobody bid on this property? And so I was like, oh crap, did I overpay? What happened? But the property was so overgrown on weeds, and it was set back in a lot. It's kind of a bigger lot that people didn't think there was a property there. Like, I remember one of the investors stopped by and was talking to my buddy, who's the contractor. He's like, yeah, I didn't think there was a property here. I thought you guys were crazy that you bought this property, but it was so overgrown you couldn't see the house. And so we bought it. The plan was to keep that as for over a year, then sell it to avoid the short-term capital gains. But we ended up selling it within like 6-7 months because we got a super good offer, and then I was hooked after that.
What did you make on that? Do you remember?
I think we each made 30,000.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a while. That was 2004 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was a while ago. No, wait, not 2004. I'm sorry, 2008.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So I was hooked, and then just started focusing more on that. And then I worked for a couple of hedge funds again on the traditional real estate side, and I sold 180 properties in 8 months for this hedge fund, and then that led me to and that was crazy. I mean, trying to set up a team real quick and sell properties all over California. But that got me into a position where I was asked to come on as the director of acquisitions for one of these hedge funds, one of the largest privately held investment firms. And I managed a team of 30 plus agents, different admin staff, project managers, and we bought, in the 4 years I was with them before leaving, we bought over 5,000 homes all across the country. So that was a huge learning experience. I mean, I think that just leaped bound my knowledge to how to handle kind of any situation and all the different title issues and all that stuff.
And then I mean, we've done a lot of work. I've never worked for a hedge fund, but I've sold to a hedge fund, and I don't know what it was like then, but especially now, it's all about the buy box, right? And everything has to be in the window, and if it's like a square foot out, or it's a half a bath out, or if it's 1 year out, or whatever, it is a no-go, right? They are so strict on their buy box. And then a lot of them want to close with who they want to close with. They run the show. They pick the inspector on their time frame. So as wholesalers, like, it was kind of like, what do you do? Because we've made a lot of money with hedge funds, but at the same time, we need to make sure that our contracts are good enough to allow us to give us enough time to get these things, going. Because it's very rarely you can't close in 7 days with them, because they have the money, they have this whole process, and they do not come off the process for anyone. This is it. The guy goes in, then he gets the pictures to the next guy. The next guy then checks the offer, and then the next guy does this, and then the next guy does that, and then we get the final offer, and then are we going to close or we're not? So all these things were like, but at the same time, I can move. I mean, one of our biggest deals we did with a hedge fund, I can remember in Mississippi, we made 43,000 on it, and anyone local, we could only make 5,000.
Yeah.
Right. So how can you not hold out? Right.
Yep.
I mean, it was just like, you have to hold out. You can't leave that. We're not talking about a few grand here. We're talking like 10 times the amount of money that you're going to make to a local person. You just have to follow their rules. So I can only imagine dealing with them and how frustrating it is for my team, but never mind working for them. Because a lot of the people that work there, and I don't know if you felt this way, were like on our side. Like, yeah, we get it. It makes no sense. But this is the way it is. So everyone in the chain knew it didn't make sense. But at the end of the day, this is the way it happens. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with any big corporation, right? If they have to make a policy change, it's a slow movement, because it has to go through so many different departments, right, to make sure that it's right and they're not screwing up. Whereas a smaller company can easily pivot. I mean, it was the same thing. We called it the REO division, and just in that department, there was probably 100, 150 employees, and I was maybe looking over 40, 50 of those employees. And anytime we wanted to implement something, I was like, I was in third in command or whatever, I guess you would say there at that point.
Yeah.
And even to get stuff processed through that, you have to go through the partners and all that. And you're just like, holy cow, it's 3 months later now, it's finally being implemented. So, I tried, what we did was a little bit different. We bought big tapes directly from the banks. We bought from trustee sale. And we've bought thousands from trustee sale. And then, we've made national news.
Just tell us, for people listening, because I should have picked this up earlier. Explain to us what a trustee sale is.
So trustee sale is when a property goes through foreclosure, right? The last step is they sell it at the courthouse. So in a non-judicial state, they sell it at the courthouse, and it goes to the highest bidder based on opening bids or whatnot that the trustee wants. So that's the the stuff you see or hear about, like 350, 351. You just
auction.
Yeah. I was with this.
You can't even blink or move your head, right? Because your bid's in.
Yeah, exactly. You cannot miss it. You have to be super in tune with what's going on. And I had started with this company, and like, we helped to grow it. I was there from the very beginning. And so we created all the systems. So I went out a couple of times before we hired runners. And I was just thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, I'm holding 500,000 right now in my hand, because it's cashier's checks, right? Yeah. I'm like, I mean, no one could really rob me and use it because it's written in the name, but I was thinking that. And then at the same time, you got like 20 people on the it's super dead. And all of a sudden you hear the trustee number come up, and then you're like, oh, shoot, I gotta get ready. Gotta get on.
We just lost you there. Just repeat that last bit again. Oh. We just lost you. You're back.
Yeah, so the auctioneer would come up, call the trustee number. You wouldn't be doing anything for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you see 20 people just jump up and run to the auctioneer, and then they start saying, opening bid, blah blah blah. And so I'm trying to talk to the partner at this time and saying, okay, what are we buying now? What's our max? What's our go? And then they kind of have to hear what's going on. And so I go 350, 200, or whatever the bid amount had to be. Yeah. And it was stressful. And so I mean, and then we eventually, we were in we mainly did that throughout California. And so we were in 5 different counties throughout California bidding. So we hired runners and all this stuff. It was crazy, because you only got to see or know if that property was going to go up for sale. I mean, you had a list, but they dwindled down until the day of or even hours before the actual sale. So you
Yeah.
have to have a team to, like, an hour or so before it's going to go up to auction, try and look at the property, make sure it's not burned down. You're not just buying the land, right?
Yeah.
And that happened. I mean, that's happened. We just didn't have enough time to get to the property. It seemed like a great deal. The partner of the hedge fund wanted to. I mean, he was very risky and just said, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it." And we bought it and found out that there was no house there. So, I mean, you talk about a loss of like $300,000-$400,000
Yeah.
right off the back. So
It
it was
just shows you
crazy.
though how much money is being made to just make that call though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't disclose, but I used to run the P&Ls. I can't disclose how much
That's
these guys made by the time I left.
a
I was like,
lot of money, right? I think it's
lots.
one of them that you go, okay, if I can do a percentage of this, 1% of this on my own, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it made me think about, man, why did I not push my salary or my commissions more? But
Yeah.
anyways, so that
Yeah.
was that. Um, Towards, like the last year of being there, trustee sales slowed down. The tapes from the pools were slowing down, and their main business was commercial hospitality, apartment buildings, senior housing, stuff like that. They asked
Right.
me to kind of go into that, and I wasn't really up for that at that time. So I was starting to flip again in San Diego. Started doing that with a couple partners, and been doing that. And then about 4 years ago, I jumped into a virtual market and been buying houses, flipping there, wholesaling, rentals, and leads me to what we're doing now, and mainly kind of focusing on building a rental portfolio, working creative deals, sub twos, lease options, and all
Yeah.
that side. So
Yeah. No, that's really good. So, um, yeah, so let's talk about obviously how we've talked about how we got here, but now let's talk about kind of what we've been working on, right? We met probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. 4 years.
yeah. Well, when I was deciding to go virtual is when I reached out to you and Joe.
Yeah.
Because all my deals in San Diego were just based on referral. Like, I hadn't done marketing, I hadn't really set up the teams, uh, and so all I got was deals from agents I had hired in the past. So I didn't have to figure out that stuff. And then I was like, oh man, if I'm going to go virtual, I need to learn all this stuff. I need to set up the systems, which I didn't know how
Yeah.
to do at that time. And the easiest way to do it and the quickest way to do it is reaching out to someone who knows how to do it, right? A coach like
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
and Joe. So
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I remember, I know, and you did well. I think you did like 200 220 I think thousand first year gross between you and partner, and that again, the reason for REI network is your partner at the time doing that came through the group, right? And I think that's the important of obviously having a group, having a coaching platform,
yep,
because I was able to put two personalities together with what one did have and what one had to go, look, I'm not saying that you guys are going to be a good fit, but I think you should have the conversation. And then you hit it off, obviously made some money together, which was great because you got one person on the ground that's going to go and see the house and run rehabs. And then you got you that wanted to fit in the role like of running the systems from a virtual level and the marketing. And when you can bring two people in together, obviously magic can happen.
yep,
So I know you did that. And then obviously you've done creative for a long time, but now that's kind of where your passion is, right? So when we talked, I don't know, 2-3 months ago, I get a lot of people reach out to me. Hey, can you look at this deal? Hey, can we JV? And people are going to probably think I'm crazy when I say this, but I say, I'm sorry, I can't because I don't have the bandwidth, right? Not because I don't want to. It's just like when I'm doing my own deals. Like right now, we have 3 flips. We've got 2 in closing for wholesale. We've got another one closed on June 1st. We got another one 2 weeks after that. So my real estate stuff's going and hopping, and then I'm obviously coaching, and then all of a sudden people randomly reaching out saying, hey, do you want a JV? And I'm like, I'm really sorry, I only JV with coaching clients. That's not for me to get you into the coaching program, but it seems to be the fairest way that I can actually manage it, right?
yep.
And we talked about this, and so anyway, so we came up with something where we've actually put like a team together. There's like going to be 4 or 5 of us that are going to be putting a team together here at REI Deal Closers. So go and check that out, REI Deal Closers, where we will actually do a couple of things. We'll JV on deals with you if you have contracts, or even better still, a lot of you are focusing on wholesaling, right? I'm obviously a coach, and I'm the first to say, focus on one thing, okay? Make something work before you get all the shiny objects. So here's the thing. What we want to do is we don't want to give you the shiny object. We want to give you an actual something that you can execute really quickly, which is basically as you're doing your wholesale deals, or even if you're focusing on creative finance and you're learning, right? You can give us your leads, even your dead leads, okay, and we will work them and get you paid. Now, there's difference. You can check it out, and I'm going to bring Dustin here to go and give you some examples. Depending on if it's a dead lead, we're going to get you paid something on it, or if you've got a contract, you want a JV, and we'll look at deals, Dustin, across the whole country, right? Every state, we will look at a deal, so we're not excluding anyone in this. So tell us, Dustin, dive in a little bit with kind of like, okay, cool, they can check the website out, reidealclosers.com. But tell us what they're going to be doing and how this is going to work for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you said. It's for those who, are have a wholesaling business, are trying to learn that side of it. And, I've been in their shoes too. It's at a certain point, you're working on growing that business, but you have these leads that don't make sense for you as a wholesale or as a flip, right? So, but you throw them away or you put them in the back burner. You don't do any kind of follow up, or even if you do, it's like low motivation follow up, and usually that doesn't get you any kind of deal. The very low motivation. However, they do kind of want to sell, but they're not willing to sell at the discount that makes sense as a wholesale or a flip. So I started working on those kind of leads and finding out, okay, what are the solutions that led me to, the lease options, seller financing, to sub two, to novation agreements, stuff like that. And you can actually turn some of these leads, not all of them, there has to be some kind of motivation still, but you can turn these leads into deals. And I was trying to figure out, okay, well, how, I had wholesalers bringing me stuff that I had just known who I was. And so how do I make this beneficial for everybody? And it was just really, well, I'll pay you for your dead lead. If we close it, you get paid for it. That can go back towards your marketing. You can focus on wholesaling or flipping, whatever you're doing on that side, and not have to stress out about these deals that aren't going anywhere or don't know how to structure or talk to the seller about that. So that's why we kind of came up with the REI Deal Closers. It was with the amount of people that are reaching out to you, Gavin, the amount of people that are reaching out to me. It's like, okay, how do we join forces and make this bigger to help more people all over the nation, really?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very big as well. Like if I can't deliver, I don't like to do something. And when people are reaching out, because I don't want to derail my team either, right? I have my team working, and I want them to stay focused to get results. And all of a sudden, these shiny object deals come in, right? And we know a lot of them aren't deals, so you have to have time to actually look and analyze them. So I think this is going to be kind of a game changer to be able to put something in place where we can help people. We're not asking you or asking you, meaning the people listening to us right now, to pay us, right? We're not pitching you anything. We've got nothing to sell. This is just you doing your marketing dollars and trying to utilize where you have the mindset of no lead left behind. Okay, no lead left behind. And all you've got to do is, and you can check the website out, but we have a form that you're going to fill out and follow some simple steps. It's going to come in, we're going to pick it up, and then we'll start, communicating with you. And we'll work the lead ourselves. If you just want to hand the lead over, there's going to be like a kind of flat fee that we'll pay at closing. If you have the contract and you want a JV, and this could be even wholesale, right? We'll look at any deal that you have, any creative deal, sub two, lease option, cash deal, owner finance, whatever. We'll look at it and we'll go from there and give you some guidance, like, look, you're too high, or we can make it work, or whatever we can do with it. We'll be talking to you about it and see how we can grow that.
Yeah, exactly. As what you said, that's always stuck to me, is the no lead left behind, right? From the time I originally had met you guys and started my marketing, I did not let one lead slip through. My biggest concern was not following up with a lead, because there is money with following up with the leads, right? Even if they're 2 or 3 years old, we still close deals that are 2 or 3 years old because we're following up that lead. And that's also now because I know how to structure these kind of deals. So I have friends that just want to focus on wholesaling. That's fine. And they send me their deals now, and I can follow up with them. Even if they were 2 years old. I mean, if they went back to them and said, hey, would you consider terms? We'll work those leads. And that's kind of how we're doing. And as you mentioned, we'll even deal with like the wholesaling or flipping. If there's, if you just need a little boost to get over the line to lock up a deal, we have great closers on the team that can get these deals closed for you, get the contract, and then we can joint venture on that side. So there's different ways on how to structure it. We'll have all that information on the REI Deal Closers website. But I think it's going to be a great thing for a lot of wholesalers out there and who want to be a little bit more passive about it. So.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know me, right? If I can hand a lead over and make some money, I'm all about it.
Yep.
Because that's the way it should be. I actually changed, like, my main model that I do in my personal business is wholesaling and flips, right? Because I can have the team and to do that, where trying to focus on the creative, if you keep getting pulled in, you have to, think, well, is this what I want to be doing, right? Because something's got to give. Every decision everyone makes in this business, something else is going to suffer because you've only got so much time, right? And I think, your wholesalers that are making, 4, 2, 3, 4 deals a month, they're like, oh, I want to start doing creative finance. But here's the key: you still need to do 2, 3, 4 deals a month of wholesale, and then an additional 2, 3, 4 deals of creative finance. But do you have the bandwidth in the team to be able to do that? Because there's no point you going, oh, I used to do 4 wholesale deals, but now I do 1, and now I do 1 creative because I spent all my time trying to do it, and then you make less money and you have more hassle. It doesn't make any sense. So this model is going to be, again, for anyone new to creative finance that needs to get over the line, and then any wholesalers that are not focusing on it, are staying in their lane, you can, partner with us. And let's all get some money. Let's all get paid.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, bud. Anything else you want to share while they're listening? Any wisdom from all your? I mean, what you've just told us blows my mind. You've done everything.
Yeah, I felt like I talked too much about myself on that one. Sorry about that.
No, that's what I want.
To squeeze 17 years into a couple minutes.
Absolutely. That's what we want, though, because there's a lot of experience. Like, I've been in the business, you've been in the business way longer than me, and you've done more like different types of the businesses than me. I'm just stay in my lane and make my thing work, right? But it's good. It's good to have that knowledge. I'm glad, that you're going to be part of kind of the group REI Network as well, which is exciting. And guys, check that out. If you go to reinetwork.com/apply, we're going to be working with our, close group of clients as well. So we're excited about that. Dustin's going to be involved doing some calls, and we want everyone in our group to be doing deals and then scaling to 3, 4 plus a month. That's the goal. Everyone coming in. We don't take any more people wanting to do this part-time, right? We don't want anyone just trying to flash do a deal. We want to turn people into, businesses and do this full-time.
Yep. So, I mean, the one thing I would say, just leaving with some advice, is just, connect with other people in the group, have accountability partners, just reach out to them, see if there's anything you can help out with it. And then, that's going to come around. They're going to want to help you out. Oh, I think we lost you. There we go.
I'm back.
Yeah. And just having that accountability partner, I used to role play. I still role play with people, and just to get better, even though I'm not really handling the sales too much, I still like to get on the phone every once in a while with sellers and talk to them. But role play, I know Gavin in the group is accountability, but find somebody else in the group that you connect with and have them as your accountability partner, your role play partner, and just network. Yep. Because that's one of the biggest things in this industry is, and you're talking to someone that's probably a natural introvert, and I don't like to go out there and just network with people, but I do it because I also enjoy learning about the different personalities out there and why people do things. But when you're out there networking, opportunities come. So,
yeah, no, I love that. And Again, REI Network. That was the whole
That's why I
point
love
behind the
it.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point, and I paid to get that domain because I'm passionate about it, because that's how I started. It's networking, building relationships, and that goes throughout the whole business, building relationships with your people in the group, building relationships with your sellers, your buyers, your title companies, your attorneys, your mortgage brokers, all of them people, because that is what makes the world go round. And everyone should be doing it. And we have changed, guys. Like I said, go and check out reinetwork.com/apply. We've changed our format in our coaching. It is going to be killer. All my one-to-one guys and gals, they love it. They think it's great. We've changed the meetings. We're active most days. Again, a lot of accountability, a lot of calls that you can be on to get deals closed. So there's zero excuses. Okay, we're showing up daily doing it. And if you're in the group for the investment you got to put in, we're confident we can 10 times it. So go and check that out. But anyway, Dustin, I appreciate you. We're going to get people reaching out. So I'm excited to, start working with some of these people and we've got testimonials, guys, as well. Check the website out that we've actually been working. We selected a few wholesalers that we've been partnering with to get some deals done, just to, tweaking the systems to make it efficient, ready to launch this. So we're excited, but Dustin, appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Gavin. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.